I'm Doth Savick, and this is the Prodigy BP-3 V2. This is the new design of the smallest bag from Prodigy. They've made a few changes on it compared with the last one. The first change, and probably most noticeable, is with the backpack straps and the padding on the back of the bag. So we'll start right there. Looking at the back of the bag, we can see that the straps now have a bridge coming across the back. They're no longer two separate pieces. On the original version of the bag, the straps were sewn in individually, so that's less stitching, less surface area connection. Hopefully that'll help durability wise, preventing the straps from tearing. I mean, I haven't had either of these bags very long, so I'm not showing any signs of wear in that way, but it's always a concern, especially on a cheaper bag. And by cheaper, I mean price, right? This bag is retails for $36, so you shouldn't be expecting a whole lot for that price. You know, if you're really looking for something that's durable and going to last a number of seasons, this probably isn't the right series of bags for you to be looking at. But beyond the straps, they've changed the padding on the back of the bag. This looks a little bit more like a grip bag, for example, with the padding on the back. We've got padding added on both shoulders, as well as, you know, lumbar support of sorts on the bottom. There's not a whole lot there. That's a little bit less than ½ an inch, I think. But there's also breathable fabric there. That's compared to the old style bag, which did have a bit of padding on the back. It was thinner padding on this bag, and you know, you can see it's just a little simpler. Two big strips coming up. So maybe that'll help with a little bit of airflow coming across your back. That's in general why this design is used. On hot days, you get the sweaty back, and maybe you're going to get some airflow across. Of course, this thing's soft enough. Yeah, it's probably not really standing off your back, so I don't know that that'll be of any benefit. The other thing added to the straps is they put a little rib straight up and down there, and that allowed them to add in a sternum strap, which is a standard style, a little bungee connector on there, and yeah, that's it. Super simple sternum strap. That also did not exist on the original version, so that's a nice little touch as well. The next thing most noticeable is the fabrics used, just in general. That kind of open weave breathable fabric on the back feels the same or very similar from the new style bag to the old style, but the rest of the fabric used on the bag is different. On the new style bag, this is a much tighter weave material, and it has a little nicer feel to it. Just, you know, touching the bag, it feels a little bit more polished. I'll get in close so you can see the texture on that weave compared with the much larger grain material on the old bag. This thing just kind of feels, the old one was kind of rubbery. I don't know how else to describe it really. It has a very plastic, rubbery kind of feeling, and this almost feels more durable. A lot of times when you're looking at like a wider weave, a thicker grain, I don't know a better word to use for the fabric. A lot of times that larger weave will be more durable, or at least seems that way to me. But I don't see any signs that this material is going to rip easier, tear, anything like that. So I think that's an improvement, just to feel wise. The way it looks and the way it feels is improved. The rest of the bag is pretty much the same. They didn't change any layout. I don't think the zippers are any different. They look very similar, at least. It's hard to tell. There might be like a touch difference in kind of that quote-unquote waterproofing used on the zippers, but the layout of the bag is the same. I think the only stitching difference is that, again, that bridge on the backpack straps for more surface area there. I'm carrying loadout wise, this is the same as the video I made on the original version of the BP3. And by that I mean I'm not stacking discs all the way across. You know, on their website, I think they advertise that it can carry 17 discs in the main compartment, and while yeah, you could probably load that many or maybe even more across, once you get discs on the sides where that zipper curves, you pretty much lose the ability to pull them in and out. You know, you'd have to pull discs out of the center and lean that stack over, and then you could get to that edge disc. Or you're really just going to be like ripping it free. It's going to rub on all kinds of stuff getting out. So it doesn't seem like the bag was designed well. It wasn't made to be carried with discs pushed all the way to the side. However, that works okay because they've got the cradle in there. I've taken this one out of the original style bag just so I could show you. That's what the cradle looks like. The two dividers are Velcro, and they're Velcroing to a pretty wide strip, so you've got some ability to, you know, move them back and forth and change exactly how wide you want that to be. So that's how it's set up. I've got discs in the center, and then that gives me pockets on both sides that I can use for storage, which is great. You know, I pretty much never want to go out to a course with just discs. You know, I like carrying sunblock, I like carrying bug spray. You know, I'm going to have some extra fluids and snacks usually, so I want somewhere to put that, and that works just fine in this bag. Because when I stack stuff like that in the side pockets, you know, I'm pulling one thing out at a time. It's not the entire width of a disc that I'm pulling out of there. Behind that water bottle, I've got a relatively large size rain jacket in a little zippered pouch. Usually I'm not carrying that, right? I just have like water bottles stacked all the way to the back. You can fit 3 in there pretty easily. You can fit cans, 12 ounces fit in there just fine. And then on the other side, like I've got some Jolly Ranchers in here, and I've got my little pouch with sunblock and bug spray and stuff. So it fits things well on the sides like that. One thing you're seeing, and I didn't really address this in the first video, is that cradle's poking way up in the front. And that thing just kind of constantly moving, and I don't know, I started calling, somebody asked me this bag, and I was like, it's a slobby blob of a bag. It just, you know, it's just so soft. It just wants to collapse in on itself, and that's what's gonna happen if you don't have like a rigid side panel to some degree. You know, this putter pocket has all this space. You can see where the edge is sewn. That's where our putters go, is in this pocket. And then this whole panel back here, nothing. It's just dead space. So the putters want to push back into that dead space and then hang down, and you know, the bag is just kind of falling over, collapsing on itself. And it just makes it, you know, it doesn't look very nice. But also with those collapsing in, it's kind of always in the way of trying to get these discs in. You know, that you have that whole compartment just collapsing on top of your discs. That cradle also has a tapered bottom with these corners on an edge like that, and that's so that it, you know, better cradles discs. But the shape of the bag is not like that, so this thing wants to pivot back and forth inside of the bag, and that's why it's poking up at the front here, is just because the bag's always sagging and that thing's moving one way or the other. So I can kind of force that to spin the other way and make that front piece disappear. But it's just, you know, it's just always going to move on its own. Especially with this one, I've had trouble getting this center flap to stick back there. If I have that cradle rotated forwards, like I just did, so that its bottom edge is disappearing, that means it's sitting like this. That back edge is then a little bit higher, and that helps me to try to tuck the edge of this flap behind that. And that's what I kept doing with that green bag when I was carrying it around. But every time I go to pull my putters out, it's just dislodging that when I put it back in. So this thing is constantly just up here. It's in my way. I don't know. There's no better way to get it out of there without, you know, having to like try to maybe put some paper clips on it, or I don't know what you'd have to do to get that thing out of the way. Basically, you're probably going to live with it just flopping in and out all of the time. The putter pocket's a little funky. I don't know, you know, I'm not going to go super hard on a $36 bag, but I feel like the stuff that I can complain about the most is the things that it wouldn't have cost them money, at least hardly any, to change, right? And one of those is with this putter pocket right here. I don't understand. Like, I've got a little birdie bag in here, and you know, if I pull the bottom edge of that putter pocket forward so that I know it's not like hitting the top of my discs in the main section, pull it forward and take one putter and slide it in there. So I've got that putter, see, pushing, maxing out the bottom of that putter pocket. And I'm gonna hold it firmly in there. I still can't get the zipper over the top of the disc. It's like, why the hell did you make a zippered top on a putter pocket that a putter can't fit in, much less two? Like, I can't hardly zip that closed. If I have two discs in there, like, I'm probably gonna break the zipper just trying to get this thing zippered closed. Look at how tight that is. That's just super poor design. Like, the tiniest little bit of extra fabric, it wouldn't have cost them much. They could have made a putter pocket that's actually big enough to put your putters in and zip it closed. You know, like, if it starts raining, that's the first thing you're going to do is try to keep your putters dry. I can pull this flap out so it keeps those discs dry, but it just shows like extremely poor execution, extremely poor testing of their bag to miss something like that. But you know, it's 36 bucks, so whatever. You didn't have high expectations of it anyways, if you're gonna buy a bag for that price. That's probably the biggest complaint I've got. This doesn't even want to stay stuck in there. Like, honestly, if I was keeping this bag, I'd cut that off. Like, who cares? You're not gonna be able to zip it closed with your discs in there, and it's just gonna be in your way, always, you know, flipping up and down as you're trying to get discs in. So probably just cut that thing off. I don't know, it'd be out of your way then, at least. The side storage pockets, I think they nailed. I really like their design here. Just the nice curve that they've got on the zipper, and the size of these pockets are great. Like, on that side, the bigger pocket is where I'm doing cell phone, car keys, wallet, the whole deal. And even, you know, big phone all the way across will fit in there. So you could fit, you know, tons of snacks in there if you wanted. It's really a pretty big pocket. If you're, you know, maxing out storage wise in here, you're going to be pushing on stuff in that pocket a little more, and it won't fit quite as much in there. And then on this side, the pocket is the same size. It does still come all the way to the back of the bag. It's just the zipper doesn't go that far. There, so you can see I'm reaching all the way out here with my fingers. That pocket goes all the way through. The thing about this size is that if you have a large water bottle like this, 36 ounce or whatever this thing is, it is going to be pushing on stuff in the back of that pocket. So you're going to be a little bit more limited on room for what you put in this side. But I'm putting mini marker, and I've been trying to keep a pencil there right on the end, because there's no pencil pocket on this bag. That would be the second thing. If I was to recommend improvements, one, it would be to fix their screw up on the putter pocket size zipper, and just add me a pencil pocket anywhere. You know, a lot of people keep score when they're on their course. I don't see how you can design a disc golf bag and not put a pencil pocket on it. You know, it's just, you're playing golf, you're keeping score. You know, a lot of people do, at least. So it's a very inexpensive thing to add on. It's really frustrating to have to keep a little pencil in a pocket like that. That's actually an issue I've got on the BP-2 as well, and I've actually taken a step to remedy it on that bag. Let me grab it real quick. Spoiler alert, because I'm going to do this review next, so you'll see it. But I went and bought a little, I forget what's this company's name, Atlas 46. They make some really cool stuff on their website. and I found this little, pencil bag. It's just, Velcro strap on the back. It fits perfect on a backpack strap, and I can get a couple pencils in there. That one side is sewn short, so it's just right for the pencil height, and I can put a magic marker on the other side. It sucks a little bit to have something on there that's going to kind of be poking my arm or whatever as I'm putting the bag on and off, but that is a potential solution. I didn't bother switching it over to this bag. That's why I've just been using that little pocket there, but it's something you could do if it bugs you as much as me. Otherwise, in here I've got my little bag with bag tags for different groups and, whatever, a bunch of little stuff in that bag. Pencil, gum, mini marker, and that's about it. I think that this bag could be great for, a newer player. If you wanted to not spend a whole lot of money but get a neat looking bag for a kid or something like that, that's perfect. That's mostly what this bag is it looks neat, shiny colors, all that stuff, and then after you actually get it loaded up, it just starts collapsing on itself. It's like one step above carrying like any generic backpack and just throwing stuff in it. This is one step above that, just because it's got a disc organizer and, a couple dedicated pockets. It makes somebody feel more like, hey, I'm really a disc golf player, instead of walking down the fairway with a grocery bag with, beers and discs in it. You'll just have the feeling of being a little more official or whatever. But probably not going to be a good bag for the long run. I'm not sure how long it'd hold together, and if aesthetics bother you as much as they do me, you'd be frustrated with this bag just for, just kind of slobby blobbing all over the place as it's collapsing. $36, I think it's a good value at that price. Like, that's, you're just buying a couple discs at $36. So I think that it may be great for a lot of people. This color is like clearly orange on here, but on their website they call this blue and red. I haven't messed up the colors that bad. You can look at the colors on the discs on my wall, and you can clearly pick out red and orange discs over there. And this clearly looks orange to me, so that's a little bit weird that they got their colors off on it, but I think it's neat. It's a nice shiny material. The color really pops. So hopefully this review has helped you out. I appreciate y'all for watching. Thank you.